What if I told you there's a Chinese animated series that pulled 770 million views on a single platform, scored a 9.6 out of 10 rating, got nominated at the Annecy Film Festival, which is basically the Oscars of animation, and most of you still haven't seen it? What if I told you this same show invented an entire fictional language for an alien ecosystem, had a rocket scientist publicly praise its physics accuracy, and is building toward a 4-season saga that might be the most ambitious project in Donghua history? I'm talking about Ling Cage, Incarnation, Ling Lon, and today we are going deep, full series, both seasons, the world, the characters, the themes, the production. By the end of this video, you will either immediately start watching Ling Cage, or you've already seen it and you're nodding along thinking, yeah, bro finally talked about it. Let's go. Section 1. What is Ling Cage? First, the basics. Ling Cage, full title Ling Cage, Incarnation, Chinese, Ling Long Pinyin. Ling Long is a fully original CGI sci-fi action donghua produced by YHKT Entertainment. No source novel, no manhwa adaptation. This is 100% original IP, created from scratch by director Dong Xiangbo and his team. Season 1 released on the 13th of July 2019 on Bilibili. Season 2 dropped the 23rd of May 2025, 6 years later. And yes, we're going to talk about that. Wait, Season 3 is confirmed for 2026, with Season 4 also in development. The concept actually started as something called Moon Prisoners, inspired by the dark side of the moon. It evolved into what we have now, a post-apocalyptic world where humanity's own desires literally birthed a biological catastrophe that ate their civilization. Here's the premise. At some point in the future, a sudden geological catastrophe tears the Earth apart. From beneath the surface erupts what's called the mana ecosystem, a massive, interconnected biological network of alien-level flora and fauna. Think of it like if the Earth itself became hostile. The land fills with monstrous, mutated creatures called extremozoans, things that move like the wind and kill everything they see. Attempts to escape into space failed. Surface Earth became unsurvivable, and the last remnants of humanity? They retreated to a giant flying fortress called the Lighthouse, a city in the sky, cut off from the ground below, desperately managing their last population. But here's where it gets interesting. The Lighthouse isn't just a survival ship. It's a society, a deeply controlled, stratified, emotionally suppressed society. Because here's the twist the world is built on. The mana ecosystem is attracted to human emotions. Your feelings, your love, your rage, your grief, they literally call them monsters. So the Lighthouse's solution was to ban emotions, suppress everything, live cold, live numb, survive. And the people born into the lower class, the laborers, they don't even get names, they get numbers. 4,068, 4,079, 4,277. That's your identity. That's your life. This setup alone is already doing so much work. It's sci-fi, it's dystopia, it's body horror, it's a class commentary all in one. But the show doesn't stop there. Section 2. The Story Season 1. Season 1 introduces us to this world through the eyes of Mark, a hunter. Hunters are basically the elite combat unit of the Lighthouse, the guys who go down to the surface and fight extremozoans for resources. Mark, at the start, is a superior one of the privileged class. He's capable, respected, a true soldier. But then everything falls apart. At 25 years old, Mark gets severely injured, and in a desperate emergency surgery, his spine gets fused with a spinal centipede, one of the extremozoan creatures. The surgery technically kills him, but Mark wakes up in the corpse incinerator, burning, in agony, and he survives. He's now a mana chimera, part human, part extremozoan, an artificial hybrid. The Lighthouse considers him a monster. He's cast out, everything he knew is gone. And this is where the story truly begins. Because falling from grace in the Lighthouse doesn't just mean social exile. It means confronting what the Lighthouse has always hidden. The class system, the lies, the experiments, the organ trafficking. The way the elites have been exploiting the lower-numbered laborers for decades while preaching collective survival. The emotional anchor of Season 1 is the love story between Mark and a woman named Hong Ku, his sister figure, his lieutenant. And the show does something cruel. It burns her at the stake. Hong Ku and her secret boyfriend are executed for violating the Lighthouse's laws. Mark witnesses it, and it breaks him. This scene hits differently. Because remember, in this world, love is illegal. Emotions are contraband. 2 people were killed because they felt something, and the Lighthouse, this supposed last bastion of humanity, did it without blinking. That's the thesis of Season 1. The cage isn't just the apocalypse outside. The real cage is the society humans built to survive it. As Mark navigates his new chimeric existence, learning to control his transformed body, being hunted by his former allies, connecting with mysterious figures from outside the Lighthouse, we start to learn the deeper secrets. There's a shadowy organization. There's an AI called Ash. There's a woman named Bai Yuekui who seems to know far more than anyone about where the mana ecosystem actually came from. Season 1 ends on a note of total upheaval. Mark destroys the lighthouse, the old order collapses, and the story expands. The pacing of Season 1 is deliberate. Some people bounce off the first few episodes because it feels slow. But that slowness is building the world, establishing the stakes, making you care about what gets destroyed. By the time the emotional gut punch lands, you feel it because the show earned it. Section 3. The story Season 2 6 years later. May 2025. Season 2 picks up with Mark as a fallen commander, now guided by the mysterious YHKT, into a world he never knew existed, Dragonbone Village, a community of survivors on the actual surface. People who didn't just survive the mana ecosystem, they learned to coexist with it. These are the Awakeners humans who developed innate supernatural powers connected to the mana. Teleportation, invisibility, creature communication, things the Lighthouse never told anyone was possible. And here's where the lore absolutely explodes. Remember the mana ecosystem? It's not just random chaos. It has a source, a mana primordial body, a giant entity that essentially mothers the entire ecosystem. And from this entity, a being was born extracted from its literal brain by YHKT herself. She named him Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng is not human. Not exactly. He has a triple helix DNA structure identical to the mana primordial body. He was experimented on, cloned, his organs sold. He lived in Dragonbone Village, suffered, eventually assimilated back into the mana ecosystem. Died, sort of. But here's the connection that breaks your brain. Mark, our protagonist, is clone K4 of Lu Sheng. That's his origin. The surgery didn't just fuse him with a monster. It awakened something that was always in his DNA. Season 2 introduces a more expanded cast, new superiors, new awakeners, deeper political conflict between what remains of the Lighthouse's ideology and the ground-level survivors. There are space battles. There's a climactic confrontation where Mark seemingly kills YHKT, only for a post-credit scene to reveal she faked her death. And then there's the mention of a 19th figure, a mysterious, higher-dimensional force operating above everything we've seen. The implication that the apocalypse, the mana, the Lighthouse, all of it might be moves in a game played by entities whose scale we haven't even glimpsed yet. Season 2 also does something that Season 1 couldn't. Scale. The world gets enormous. We go from a flying city to surface villages, to orbital battles. The scope of the conflict becomes civilization level rather than just Lighthouse internal. The emotional core shifts too. Season 1 was about forbidden love and institutional betrayal. Season 2 is about identity. What does it mean to be human when your DNA is 30% monster? What does it mean to belong to a people when you were literally manufactured? Mark's entire arc is an existential question the show asks with every episode. Section 4. Animation and Production. Let's talk about what makes Ling Cage look the way it does. Because visually, this show is a flex. YHKT Entertainment built this entire production from the ground up using full CGI, no traditional 2D cells, no hybrid approach. Everything is computer-generated, and the execution is cinematic in a way that most Donghua isn't. For Season 1, the team was constrained by budget and technology. Even they admitted it. Producer Chen Wei said the biggest regret of Season 1 was that the visuals didn't reach the standard they envisioned. The rendering, the detail, the creature design, it was good, but they wanted more. So for Season 2, they spent 4 years upgrading. The result, over 10,000 keyframes, 300 to 400 unique character models, and approximately 4,800 special effects shots in a 1-2 episode season. To put that in context, that is a feature film's worth of VFX per episode art. The fight choreography in Season 2 was built around authentic Eastern martial arts principles, not generic action movie tropes. Each character's fighting style reflects their background, and the creature design for the extremozoans is genuinely unsettling, biomechanical, organic, threatening, in a way that makes them feel like actual apex predators rather than monster of the week fodder. But the most insane detail? YHKT invented an entire fictional language for the Mana civilization. Full constructed language. For a sci-fi animated series, that level of world-building commitment is what separates this from the pack. And critically, at the 2025 Scientists preview screening, a rocket expert named Lee Duo, who was scientific advisor on the film Moon Man, publicly praised Ling Cage's mechanical structures and motion physics for their scientific accuracy. This isn't just pretty animation. The physics are correct. The engineering logic holds up to expert scrutiny. Ling Cage Season 2 was also selected for the 2026 Annecy Film Festival, which is widely considered the most prestigious animation festival in the world. For a Chinese Donghua to get a slot there isn't just a milestone for YHKT. It's a statement about where Chinese animation stands globally. The numbers tell the story. Season 1 hit 770 million views on Bilibili with a 9/6 rating. Season 2, within its run, pulled 380 million views and climbed to a 9.8 rating. The fanbase considers it an improvement on the first. It won the Golden Dragon Award, the Golden Monkey Award, and multiple Golden Dolphin International Animation Festival Awards. Over 10 major domestic honors total. This is not a sleeper hit. In China, this is one of the most celebrated animated properties of the last decade. Section 5. Themes. Now let's get into why this show matters beyond the spectacle. Theme 1. The Cage of Civilization. The Lighthouse is a perfect metaphor. Humanity, in trying to survive, built a prison for itself. A society that banned the very things that make people human: love, grief, passion, connection, and it called that survival. The tragedy is that the Lighthouse isn't wrong in its logic. Emotions do attract the monsters. The repression does keep people alive. The question the show asks is, if surviving means losing your humanity, is survival worth it? Team 2. Identity and Origin. Mark doesn't know who he is in the most literal sense possible. He's a clone. His genetics aren't even fully human. His sense of self as a hunter, as a superior, as a man was built on a foundation that the show systematically demolishes. And yet, Mark keeps going. He builds a new identity from the ruins. Season 2 is his answer to the question, who are you when everything you thought you were turns out to be false? 23. The enemy isn't the monster. Every great post-apocalyptic story eventually reveals that the zombies, the aliens, the mutants, they're not the real antagonist. Ling Cage gets there faster and harder than most. The mana ecosystem is terrifying, yes. But the human cruelty inside the Lighthouse, the organ trafficking, the executions, the class system, that's the true horror. The show never lets you forget that humanity built its own nightmare before the monsters arrived. Theme 4. Coexistence versus control. Dragonbone Village represents the alternative path. What if instead of suppressing and fighting the mana, you learned to live within it? The Awakeners aren't superhero figures, they're people who accepted that the world changed, and changed with it. The Lighthouse represents control. Dragonbone represents adaptation. And the series doesn't pick a winner cheaply, it shows the cost of both. Section 6. What to know before watching. A few things to set your expectations right. The pacing is deliberate, especially Season 1. If you go in expecting constant action, you'll be restless. This is a show that takes time to establish its world before it earns the right to blow it up. Give it 4 episodes minimum before you judge. The CGI takes adjustment. If you're a 2D animation purist, the full CGI approach might feel jarring at first. Characters move differently, facial expressions land differently, but the technical quality is exceptional, especially by Season 2. The CGI stops being something you notice and starts being just how the world looks. The class system and society building are central. This isn't just a monster fighting show. The politics, the hierarchy, the numbered laborers versus the superiors, these aren't background details. They're the beating heart of the story. Pay attention to them. In 10, there is no official international streaming platform. Ling Cage doesn't have overseas distribution. YHKT mentioned that international platforms typically require dubbed versions, Japanese or English, which complicates deals. So you'll need to find it the way Donghua fans know how to find things. Season 3 is coming in 2026. And with the Annecy recognition, the growing international fanbase, and the 4-season arc confirmed, the next few years are going to be huge for this franchise. So where does Ling Cage rank? Honestly, it's the most complete argument for what Chinese animation can be at its highest level. It's not borrowing from anime aesthetics. It's not trying to be a Chinese version of something Western. It is fully itself original world, original mythology, original visual language, built by a team of people who spent years obsessing over every detail because they genuinely believed in what they were making. The show title itself, Linglong, translates roughly to Spirit Cage. And that's exactly what it is. A cage for the soul. Not just the monsters outside, not just the lighthouse above, the way we trap ourselves, the way we suppress what makes us human in order to keep functioning, the way systems that start as protection become prisons. Mark's question in the finale of Season 1 hits differently when you understand all of that. Perhaps I am about to find out whether the body is a cage for the soul. 770 million views, 9.8 rating, Annecy selection, Golden Dragon winner, and Season 3 incoming. If you haven't watched Ling Cage yet, you already know what you're doing after this video. And if you have, drop in the comments. Season 1 or Season 2, which one hit harder for you? I'll see you in the next one.